Okay, I've unmuted us. And now,
That's a
and
good
now,
start.
ta-da! Okay, we should be, I believe, oh, and I need to make this full screen. I believe we're live on the internet.
You believe we're live on the internet?
I
Are you
think
sure?
so. I'll find
Okay.
out in a few minutes
In
when,
a couple seconds
a
when,
couple seconds when my phone updates.
man. Okay, so background noise is brought to you by the random thunderstorm and the fact that the parentals made it in last night. So at any point in our live stream or after our live stream, a whole bunch of groceries will be showing up down here. So my background could get really loud. I mean, nobody will see anything because screen, but there you go. All right. We're awesome. We're good. We're off to the races.
We are, in fact, live.
Oh, in which case I'll say, welcome to the Northern Knits Podcast. We are two friends in fiber who knit, craft, and share our passionate, nerdy lifestyles with each other across the provincial borders. My name is Jocelyn. My co-host is
Diana.
and we're doing episode 179 live. Why? Because neither one of us has time to do any editing or show notes this week. We figured, hey, last Sunday in August, first week in September, let's take a break. And our break isn't skipping a week, it's no show notes. So live.
I'll do a better thumbnail because I didn't do that.
Okay. I don't know, you do thumbnails. I do editing and I just don't have time this week for it. So
I literally just tossed the logo up and it had a weird black background for some reason, so I'll do a better thumbnail.
What do we know? It is Sunday afternoon, Manitoba time, about 1 p.m. So, just on the cusps. Just on the cusps. I currently have no other humans in the house but myself, so the dogs are freaking out because thunder and lightning. My cat's trying to get out the window because thunder and lightning. And I can't remember if the birds had their blackout curtain removed, so I don't know if they even know it's daytime.
Nice.
Hey, it is what it is. You tell people what we do. I derail us. We have a system.
Yes, I set the system and then you derail the system.
That's the point. Somewhere I have coffee. Nice filler. I want to drink some coffee. You got to talk to the internet.
Jeez. Hi, internet. I guess we can start with our usual what's in our cup. I have a mountain of foam in my cup because it steamed really well today for some reason. No, I have not got my fancy coffee machine yet. People in the Patreon Discord. It's coming in a week or so.
You ordered a $200 coffee machine.
I ordered a $600 coffee machine and work's going to pay for it.
You ordered a $600 coffee machine. I believe it's allowed to take a week to get to you.
I almost ordered the $1,000 coffee machine, but that would have blown my entire budget.
That's a smidge excessive.
I thought so. The problem with this, though, is I don't know how to drink it without getting it up my nose. How do I do this?
I'm sorry, you're the one who bought the $600 coffee machine. If you can't figure out what to do with your milk frother milk when it milks too frothfully, I really don't know what to tell you.
I don't know how to. I made this drink and I don't know how to drink it. Anyway, under this mountain of foam is a tea with coffee beans and chocolate in it. So it's a coffee tea. We got it in Brussels on our honeymoon. We're almost done the bag, very sadly.
Oh my gosh. It's like watching a kid take their first steps. I feel like I'm watching you become an adult. Never mind you're married, you live in a province way far away from your family and all the other things you've accomplished, a university degree. Can you drink from a container with very stiff foam?
I don't know. I do things and then realize afterward that maybe that wasn't the best idea.
Oh, we all do it. I did it last night by having a Jocelyn-sized cup of tea just before bed. Regretted that at about 4 a.m.
Yeah, I had coffee way too late in the day yesterday. Didn't go to bed till 2:30.
Ooh, boy, oh. Oh, hey, hopefully my power sticks. That was a fluctuation on my end.
Ooh.
Like, it's thunder and lightning right overhead in the city. So if I randomly die, give me a few seconds and I'll try to log on my phone and try to set up enough background light that people can see me. I am drinking in my daughter mug coffee. It's not fancy coffee. It's Co-op brand French roast coffee because that's what my brother-in-law's programmed to bring home. And it's flavored with the Skinny Syrups mocha flavored coffee sweetener. Well, it's a syrup, so you can put it in anything. Because that's the brand that's sugar free or sugar free, corn free. It's also sugar free.
I'm still absolutely perplexed how I'm supposed to drink my coffee.
I
Tea
don't
coffee.
know. I figured out how to drink my cat is just being extra weird today. Buddy, I'm recording. You got your food, you're fine.
But it's noisy outside.
Okay, no. The funny part was last night. My dad's blowing up the air mattress. And my dad sleeps in the sewing room in the big mattress. So like I've got it all tied up. So there's space in there. For the record, I offer to take the air mattress every time my parents come into town and give them my queen size bed, and I will sleep on the queen size air mattress. I am turned down every time, but I offer every time. And my mom likes to sleep on the couch. It's like a prop up thing, which makes it easier for her to breathe. So it's a weird sleeping arrangement. It works for us, it's fine. But he always turns on the sleeping, like to fill up the air mattress, and the cat's always hiding in the sewing room. So all we get is the sound of the air mattress turning on to fill, like the dude, and it's loud, hey, to blow up those air mattresses.
Mm-hmm.
And then all you hear is cat racing out of the sewing room, dad laughing, cat racing around the corner, through the laundry room, down the living room space, into the bedroom, around into the full tilt.
Ooh.
Is freaked out. Then she stares at him for the next 2 days like it's his fault. He scared her. We do the same thing every time he comes down. He blows up the air mattress in the sewing room. I don't know. My cat's crazy. It's fine. Right. Oh, I am hoping my electricity lasts though, so it'd be really bad if I just randomly disappeared on you. I'm the voice. Whoopsie. So, in live show format, we didn't make any show notes, which means Diana has no idea how many projects I worked on.
Yeah, well, we didn't pre-make any show notes. I've got like the general outline so I don't skip a section.
That's wise. I have worked on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I was very distracted this week.
I worked on 3.
Cool. So 2-to-1 ratio. We can do that.
You want to start us off?
I was so distracted this week. I didn't do any serious work on anything. While we record and hopefully while Diana checks the chat, I am working on my simple hug. And it is being made out of 2 strands of cotton being held double on an 8mm size knitting needle. I have not made a ton of progress. I've done about 5 rows. I'm literally like 4 stitches from the end, so I'm stalling. And I've made it through another stripe section, so I'm slowly making my way up the body because knit one side, knit the other. The simple hug pattern is by Cozy Up Knits. I have made some changes. A, I'm not using mohair, I'm using cotton. B, it's not stockinette, I'm doing mine in garter. And C, I don't look good in anything with 10 inches of positive ease, so I'm making the smaller size. So I was down in about the 5th row, and now I'm way past the 5th row. I've even done a color stripe change, and I'm into my 3rd color section. This is marled because I'm holding 2 strands of cotton together, so I get this beautiful, like newspapery look. And the squish factor on this is stupid. I'm gonna curl up in this and I'm never coming out again.
It does look very, very squishy.
So squishy. So I'm going to save the white that I have, my white cotton, to do my cuffs on my short sleeves and my collar around the edge, or the cuffs on my long sleeves. Because I'm working in scraps, I don't know if I can do sleeves or it's going to have to be short sleeved. I will literally have to figure that out at the end. So not super worried, but I'm making progress. It's good progress. Even though it's not twisted, but my goodness, cotton flops around like crazy pants. Like crazy pants. I would be kicking myself if I was doing this in the size that they recommended for me. Because there'd be so many stitches. So many stitches. so it's fine. Oh, she's given up and lied down. Maybe I'll have some space and breathing room. In the continuation of the I didn't know what to make this week and I didn't feel like working on anything I already had, I decided to go ahead and crochet myself a slouchy hat. And I
Oh,
don't wear
cute.
hats. So, and this is the one I made a project page for with a photo for
Oh,
Diana
oh
before
my
we started
goodness.
recording.
What?
It's called the Bright and Joyful Slouchy Hat. I literally just had some of this touch of wool, like touch of alpaca by Lion Brand. I'm like, which is the touch of that I have? This is the alpaca one. So I literally just made a giant slouchy hat. Like this is bulky on a 6.5 crochet hook. And I just went roundy, roundy, roundy in pattern. This will not stay. This will first gust of wind, this thing is gone.
That's what bobby pins are for.
Bobby pins don't stay in my hair. Do bobby pins stay in people's hair?
They stay in my hair. If you use
Cool.
2 of them in an X, they stay.
They kind of stay when I do that, but that's fine. That was fun. It was a cute little crochet. I enjoyed it. Do I weave in ends? What do I look like? A podcaster to you? I don't think so. So I enjoy it. What I think I need to do is I need to knit a slouchy hat, like the sock head hat or something, like a traditional slouchy knitwear hat.
Yeah.
See if I like that more or less than I like the crochet hat. But I mean, I need hats for winter. I don't like wearing them, but I do need them.
They are a necessary thing.
Well, that and I've got an undercut that's growing out, so it's going to make hairstyles for the next little bit interesting.
Down is
I
a
still didn't want
hairstyle.
to work on my sleeves, so I knit a Sarah Hair Don't Care, except I made it a beanie. And again, I just used scraps that I had floating around and made a beanie hat. So I made 2 hats this week.
Okay.
This one is black and red and it's dark, and the reason I picked it to knit it out on is I am practicing knitting without seeing my stitches. So if I turn this inside out, it's got a really long tail. The Sarah's Hair Don't Care, you can see the pattern. I like the pattern better on the inside than the outside. I have made the Sarah Hair Don't Care hat once. I made it in some really, really pretty pink yarn from Midnight Cravings. But I wanted to see if I could do the stitch pattern without seeing the stitches because I can't see the stitches at all. I can feel them, but I can't see them because I need to practice knitting without seeing, right? So super messed up on the bottom. Kind of got my stuff squared away. And then I made it a touch too short. So I'm hoping it fits the kid. I did not do the sort of start that they wanted. I just did a ribbed start because I like the look of a ribbed start on a hat. So I did that. So I gotta put this on the child's head. Child. She's taller than her mother. The size of her feet. She's not stopping at my height. She's gonna be passing me. So I'm gonna put this on her head and see if it fits. And if it does, I'll give it to her. If not, I'll weave in the ends, and at some point I will run across somebody who has the right head size for that hat. So I have now done 3.
All right. Well,
My
I'm going to
2
start
hours.
with the really boring thing that I didn't do much work on this week.
The sock.
The sock. Woo! I'm working on it right now. I've done an embarrassingly tiny amount of work on it because I've been working on other stuff, which is more interesting. So this is the green self-striping yarn from Online Super Sock, the forest color line in some numbered colorway. I don't know. And no, my camera is not failing to white balance. The sun just came out from behind a cloud.
Okay. You just have natural light issues.
I do have natural light issues.
It looks
I
like dusk outside my window. That is
oof.
how dark it is.
I figured out how to use my DSLR as a webcam. I just need a power adapter so it'll last long enough. So next week, I should have consistent lighting and focus the whole time.
Hey, next week we might have a different background for me, so
I'll have a nice blurry background so you can't see all of that.
what if people want to see your backgrounds?
It's messy. Just don't look over there. Look at the pretty sock there. Yeah, it's there.
There? Okay.
Yeah, look at
Okay.
it's the pretty sock.
Pretty sock?
Yeah, I don't know. It's not the interesting. It's not interesting.
That's
I
fine.
did like 8 rows on it.
It's a sock. It's a thing. Oh, I suppose it's me again, isn't it?
It is.
Ugh, we don't have anything going on in the chat, do we?
Not that I'm seeing. I'm looking at it as me, so I'm hoping it's not doing something weird and like not showing me the chat, which I don't think it should be doing.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not
It
in
says
charge of
7 people are
technology.
watching, so only
Cool.
one.
Hello, 7 people.
And only one of them is me.
None of them are me. On my 5mm.
Ah,
On my 5mm crochet hook, we have begun the work to finish the ant blanket.
is that the
So one of
blanket of
my
doom with the many, many squares?
oh my god, yes. So one of my aunts asked for a blanket, and I love her very, very much. I do love her. She's a very lovely lady and totally knit worthy. And I'm slowly making my way through this last of the royal blue Bernat Premium for her blanket, which is made up entirely of 2.5-inch granny squares sewn together. Oh my god. I have been smart every time I finish a Ziploc bag quantity, which is a ball's worth. I weave in the ends and then I stack them up, compact them as much as possible, and stick them in their own bag. So when I'm done, I will have 6 Ziploc bags full of woven in 2.5-inch squares. Each bag will be 2 balls of which is, what is that, 12 balls? 6 colors? What's 6 times 2?
12.
Thank you. Oh, okay. I need more coffee. Of the color rotation for the squares, then I will have to make 3 or no, I have to do 4 balls of the neutral color in the 2.5-inch squares. Then I can sew it together. Then I can make the border. Settle in, folks. I'm working on this. I put it down and I lost steam, which I knew I was going to do over the summer anyway. COVID did not help us any because getting out to Walmart wasn't something I could do for the first few months because the Bernat Premium is at Walmart for me. So this gets squishier and smaller and limpier as we go. Like I can really squish that down now. So I'll probably get another 12 squares out of it. I did about like 20, 25 squares this week. So I'll get another 12 squares or so out of this. 10 to 12 squares. And then I'll be done and I can weave in ends. So hopefully I am on to the next color in the next day or two. It's boring. You do it too sweet. By the time you get into the groove of doing the granny square, you're done. Because it's 2 rounds for me on a 5mm hook to get a nice blanket squishy density that isn't super stiff
Hmm.
or super loose, and get that 2.5-inch length I'm looking for. Width, I don't know.
Seems almost unsatisfying.
It is and it isn't, because I mean you need something really quick just to fill a couple of moments while you're waiting for something. Perfect. But doing them ad nauseum, it gets a little hard. So that's fine. You have how many more to go? I have 2 left because I talked a bunch.
I have 2 left also.
Cool, you should go.
Okay. The thing that I have done the arguably the most progress on, uh, my sweater for the Patreon knit along we're doing, the Comfort Fade cardigan. Whoops, and I'm throwing my yarn ball on the floor. I've been in meetings all week because it was my second week of training for my new job, so basically hanging out in a Google Meet all week meant that I got
Oh yeah, no, there's chat going on.
there's chat going on.
Yeah,
Well,
you're not getting them.
I'm not getting any of them.
Oh no,
Okay.
we've had tons of chat going on.
I'm so
Guys,
sorry,
Diana
everyone.
doesn't mean to ignore you. She
No,
didn't know you were
my
there.
chat is blank. It's blank.
Oh no, we got chat.
Well,
People are
I'm so
chatting.
sorry I've been ignoring everybody. I legit do not have chat going. It's not chatting.
I would probably say,
What? Oh, there it
given that
is. There it is. Oh my god.
it's a wall.
It's a
Oss been helping
wall.
us.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry everybody. I
Thank you.
apparently did not have the right tab open.
I agree with you, Rachel. I believe the hats are adorable too. The only problem is if I look at my phone, it has to be like this close. So
I
I
have
can
chats
read the
now.
text. Okay, good.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
If we want me doing the chat check on a live, you won't see my face. You'll just see like the top part of my head.
I was getting really concerned because chat's like really, really silent, and I'm like, this doesn't feel right. But it says that I'm in the chat tab, but apparently I had to close the tab and reopen the tab, and now I see everybody. I don't know, technology. I had to
Oh
turn it off
man.
and on again.
Well, that's the start. That's always the start, isn't it? Turn it off and turn it on again. It's okay. Asa came to our rescue. It looks like she was replying to people.
Thank you.
Hey, that just means you got a lot of texts to read while I
Yeah,
babble on.
I'll talk about my thing and then I'll catch up on the chat.
Cool, cool.
Okay, so comfort fade Cardi. I made a fair
Oh
amount
my
of progress.
God,
I'm
that's a lot of progress.
yeah, considering that this thing's like very, very wide because it's a sweater. So
Holy schnickerdoodles.
I haven't really been able to knit in the evenings because I do this for like 6 or 8 hours and my hand's like, no, you're done now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I am done color A and color B, and I am firmly into color C. I think I have about an inch and a half of color C left last time I measured, which may or may not
Okay.
be accurate anymore.
Who knows?
But we're getting there.
Ah,
I'm
so good.
I'm not in training this week, so I don't know how much progress I'm gonna get done because I might actually have to do work that requires typing with my hands.
What?
I know. It's
That
crazy.
should scored the best job ever. $600 coffee machine, knitting days. You telling me you actually have to work for a living now? Who are you?
Well, we'll see. I still have more meetings on Tuesday, but they're not all day, so I might actually have work to do.
Okay, okay, that's fair. That seems fair.
So,
I
it's looking like a real sweater.
liked the job my niece did on picking up stitches so much. I think I'm going to teach her this week how to pick up stitches on the finished body of a sweater, the flat white sweater. I'll pay her because she's like 13 and it's all about can I earn money to buy video games right now? I feel you. I understand that life. Uh, and I'll get her to pick up the stitches on the flat white body for me so I can rip back to where I need to put the decreases in.
Sounds good. I'm really admiring this because I'm
I'm
always
sorry, it
seeing
looks
this.
really good.
Because I always see it really up close, and I'm like, oh, I'm not sure how this fade is actually working out. It looks a little choppy, but like from far back, it doesn't at all.
That fade is going to be so freaking pretty on you. So freaking pretty. I'm
This
so
yarn is a
excited.
kit from Sew Into Knitting, which is a
It
dyer in
is.
Manitoba. It's important to mention
They
these
are.
things.
They are. You know what's really funny? Odds are good I'll be going out to visit my mom in Saskatoon because my parents are down for the week and then they're going home. And I'm just gonna pack up and go with them for a while and visit. That's no problem, right? Ginger Snap that's coming down for the Manitoba Fiber Festival.
Oh, you're just gonna like cross ships in the night.
Yeah, we'll go up to Saskatoon and then that week, the first week we're there, she'll be coming through Regina and she's doing a pop-up on
Oh,
her way
okay.
down to Manitoba to do the Manitoba fiber crawl that they've got set up. But I wouldn't have been able to see her at the fiber crawl anyway, because next to none of those locations are busable.
Yeah.
So it's incredibly inaccessible. I'm like, cool, cool. You made the inaccessibility of the X seem like a good option. Well done, guys.
Eh,
Yep, cool,
I mean,
cool. Okay, okay, okay.
better than full on canceling, I guess?
I don't know. I don't know if it'll be better or not. I suppose we'll have to wait to see how the vendors feel after they've done the 3 days and how they compare the two. And I mean, both of us know several of the vendors, so I mean, we'll find out. We will hear from them. They are people we talk to.
Yep,
So
we'll find
we're
out.
gonna have to wait to see how it goes. Like I do hope it goes well because it'd be an interesting way of doing it in times like this for us to have records of and go, okay, no, but like there is something you can do. And like maybe for festivals that it might be happening early next spring if we're still waiting on a vaccine, which is very likely we could still be waiting on a vaccine next spring. That if there is an alternative format that they could use, like that could be helpful for a lot of places. My problems with accessibility is just because I don't have a car and nor should we ever let me drive.
Oh,
No.
sorry, everybody. I'm choking on my tea.
You managing that drinking breathing ratio well today?
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm trying to drink tea and breathe and read and listen all at once
Nope.
is just one too many
Nope.
things.
One too many things.
The drinking obviously was not the thing that I was able to do.
It's okay. After your Discord chat yesterday where you told us how your day was going, I just about snorted pop out my nose. You caught me unawares. There was the hand sanitizer in the hair. Did me in.
Yes. For those of you not in the Discord, I have a little story about yesterday.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh, that was so
I keep a little bottle of hand sanitizer in my car, but it was pretty much empty, so I brought it up to refill it out of the big
Yep.
bottle that we have up here. So I was filling it, and then there was a kind of a large air bubble at the top, and so I was like trying to tilt it and like just squeeze the little bottle just enough to get the air bubble out. But the little bottle's made out of kind of a stiff plastic, so I was squeezing ever so gently and being very, very careful. And then the plastic all of a sudden just gave, and I squirted this huge glob of hand sanitizer up in the air, and it landed on my head. Like, perfectly on my head. I could not have written that scene any better. So I had this giant glob of hand sanitizer on my head, and I had to get Chris to come help me clean it out.
The thing is, she posted in the Discord. I just finished cleaning the glob of sanitizer out of my hair. If that tells you how my day is going, and I'm like, oh, Discord went off. Just go check it. So I'm drinking pop with one hand, checking Discord with the other hand. I was not prepared. I was not prepared. Snorting pop out your nose burns. Don't do it. Like, I knew that in advance. I knew it would be a bad idea. Oh,
Also, wants a photo of the hand sanitizer incident? No. I thought about it, and no, I did not document that incident. That is, I will tell you about it. You can imagine it, but I am not photo documenting that incident.
I've seen Diana react in cases of emergency, and when shocking things happen, there would have been squeaking. There would have been a squeak.
There's maybe a small squeak, and then just a lot of laughing because, like, what?
do you do?
I, a responsible adult, am cleaning hand sanitizer out of my own hair.
Cool. Well, I guess your hair is really clean.
No, actually, because the hand sanitizer doesn't smell great, so.
It doesn't.
My head just smelled like it all day. It's not good.
Oh goodness. In one of my plethora of giant CBC swag bags, which I have a lot of. I have the one with the retro on it that I got when I did the Winter Warrior Challenge. I have the red one with the Canada Reads on it. And it occurred to me the other day while I was in the sewing room tidying up. I have one from an entirely different program. I have 3 CBC swag bags.
Cool. Also says you need to be prepared for everything on Discord.
I know that now. I have learnt.
Also catching up on chat.
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you everybody for the compliments on the sweater. Susanna says, I am knitting another shawl. It is the Sunshine Shawl by Lisa Overby of Yarn Twisters.
Oh, that's a pretty shawl.
I don't know that one, but it sounds pretty.
That's a pretty shawl.
And also was also agreeing Ginger Snap have some great colors.
Gosh, she's got full skeins of the rainbow colors. Like neon colored rainbow colorful skeins.
Susanna just said the Fall Fiber Shindig has been cancelled.
Yeah, well, it's and a lot of them is because you just can't have groups. You just can't have large groups.
Yeah.
By doing the yarn crawl, Manitoba's managed even though our numbers are climbing quite rapidly for us, we're still doing well if we compare ourselves to other pieces of the country, which seems crazy, but what do I know? They're very small sections, so like when you go to each location, there's 2 or 3 vendors. That's it per location. And they are limiting how many people come into each location at a time. So you've got a lot of just spacing because you're not going to get the entirety of the Manitoba Fiber Festival showing up for 2 vendors at the same time, not across 3 days. No. So they're hoping that that'll let them keep the numbers low enough that the tables can be cleaned in between, everything can be done at a safe physical distance. Like they've got a lot of stuff they put in there. I was reading some of their announcement posts and stuff that I'm like, okay, as a concept, this sounds great. Whether or not it works in execution, I mean, we won't know till we try. like everything else, pardoning the burp, it's all a hypothesis until we prove it. So I guess we got to prove it and see how it goes. So all I know is I will either be here and can't go because I don't have a car, or I will be not in the province. So, like, one of the two things would be occurring for me. So, I have shoved in the last of my worsted weight yarn scraps and bulky weight yarn scraps into this bag from CBC. And it is wool plus acrylic something. These are all those interesting blends I like to try all the time for things. But it does mean that this would be a hand washed scrappy because it's acrylic and something. And not acrylic and cotton, it's an acrylic and some sort of wool. 80% mixes, 90% mixes. You get the idea. It's a hodgepodge.
Mhm.
So I always knew whatever it is I made could not be like the size of my bed. But I wanted another scrappy blanket because I enjoy making them. So I made a bunch of squares. It's just going to be a granny square one. It's just going to be a couch throw so that I can wash it and leave it to like hang dry at a reasonable amount of time. And for me, because I like wool, but not the rest of my family does. So I'm making 7-inch squares or seven rounds of granny square per thingy. So I literally just made a bunch of squares. I don't know, and I'll put them together in an interesting color pattern later because I've got one where I had to switch colors, and this will happen more than once. And then I'll either sew them together as is, or I'll do a little connect them as you go. But I've literally been puttering this week. I haven't made huge project on any one thing like progress, but I've just made a bunch of little progress on things. Like this is going to take forever because I don't know how big the blanket will be once I'm done the squares in the bag, and then I'll have to find a border thing for them, like a border color that I like.
You just got really quiet all of a sudden. I don't know if you're farther away from your microphone.
Oh no. We also had another flip of power, so
Yeah, I'm just gonna
check
can
the
see
sound
the inner
there.
workings for a second. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna turn you up a little bit. Compensate. Okay.
Compensating.
Yeah, compensating.
I made a bunch of granny squares. That's it. I mean, nothing fancy. You guys watch me. I make scrappy. I'm so in love with the scrappy blanket idea. It's not even funny. But all wool, so whatever I make, I got to be able to hang it to dry because this won't be going in the dryer.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
Naughty
So
Thistle.
far,
Oh, sorry. Naughty Thistle would like to know, how do you get all these CBC bags?
you phone and participate in CBC stuff all the time. I was on the radio twice this week for an interview I did once 3 weeks ago. They put the call out. They ask you, so like the weekend morning show, you can call in and participate. You can be an early bird, or you can, in the case of the CBC Reads bags, they did a little for fun Q&A. So you had a multiple choice question and answer on Canada authors and books. And I called in and I answered the questions. I didn't know if I'd get it right or not, but I was like, yeah, sure. I'll be a radio game host. Like I'll participate. This would be fun. That's it. It was the same with the Winter Warrior one. I didn't expect swag. They just sent out a call and asked if there was anybody who loved winter who'd be willing to go down for the info radio morning, which is, by the way, means I left my house at 6 in the morning to be down in time for the segment pieces
Ugh.
for a whole week. And I just did that for fun. I didn't expect anything out of it. But yeah, I always enter the contest in prizing and answer question stuff because I find that fun. I enjoy doing it. I can't win a knitting giveaway to save my soul, but if it involves swag bags, apparently I'm golden. So there's that. There's that. So, but yeah, no, I put things in all the time. Sometimes I see them and I'm like, oh, I like that. I pick it up. I go to the open houses, which are crazy busy whenever they hold an open house, but I do go to them. I like meeting people and talking to people, so it's a way to meet and talk to people. So that's what I do. All right, I've only got one thing left.
Me too.
Cool. Would you like to continue bloating?
I will in just a second. catching up on chat.
Cool, I'll go first. I didn't work on Clue 4 at all. Clue 4 came out this week. I I I watched Lucifer this week.
Me
I only
too.
read one book this week. I have not been the consummate knitter that I usually am and very distracted this week, so that's fine. I did, however, finish Clue 3, which I was behind on last week because I reknit Clue 1 and Clue 2 of the 8-bit sweater. So I finished Clue 3, which is the Space Invaders. They turned out great.
They're so
These are some
cute.
pretty dapper Space Invaders. So super happy with that. I did much better on my increases. Only 2 weird little squares instead of like 5. So I have to do the Clue 4, which is the Mario plus mushrooms.
Yep.
I think that's what I call it. And then I can get started on Clue 5, which released, I was looking at it just before we started recording. And I have to Hulk Easter this week and get this sleeve done and get that body casted on because now we're getting serious. Because I have to look at those charts, do that ribbing, and when I cast on, I have to make sure I've got my steek stitches located correctly. So, like, I got to do some mathy because I got to make sure the patterned places so that I'm breaking the sweater right in the middle with steek stitches to steek it later.
Right. Yes. You're
Yeah,
making it extra complicated.
I'm making a complicated sweater even more complicated so it fits. These are still my first 2 balls of Briggs and Little yarn, which is what I'm making it out of. Mine is in a cream and a dark gray. Because these are 100-gram skeins, I'm apparently getting, well, no, yeah, because it'd be 200 grams. It's 100 grams per sleeve for me. So yeah, I should get to the end of my sleeve before I run out of the yarn. So that should be good. The sleeve one looks great. Isabella likes them. So I might end up making one for her later, but whatever. I can make it for her in just her size. She did come home. She did put on the sweater. The Izzy sweater fits great. It's tunic length. The sleeves are long enough. Everyone's like, well, will it stretch? I'm like, I put it on me. Except for the ribbing, everything fits. So it will go from her medium sized person to if she decides to have a very large chest. Me. It was not as long on me for obvious reasons. You lose a lot of length when you move out. So that's fine. But it fits. She likes the way the sleeves are suit. She doesn't bother her. And she was wearing that merino wool right next to her skin. Not a problem.
Nice.
So
Well, that's awesome.
so I will weave in the last of the ends and give it to her this week. So and get photos. I wasn't gonna do it last night. She'd been in the truck for 8+
Oh yeah.
hours.
No.
Yeah, no. I'm like, no, we'll do photos another day, but they will get done this week. So
She can be.
Diana,
She can be the best dressed person in online or in person classes.
I don't know what's going on, and
Nobody
I am
does. It's a big
so
confusion.
so happy right now I am not a parent because oh my god, the extra stress this year
Yeah. I'm
is
like, I'm stressed on
ridiculous.
behalf of all the parents and teachers. Like,
Yeah.
I see the news articles and I'm like, I'm not even going to read that because it's not relevant to me, but like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
I am, oh man, I do not envy the decisions they have to make this year. It is
No, there are no good
crazy.
decisions. It's not a
No,
good situation.
no. So, oh well. But it does mean Diana gets to gloat for another week because I'm still a full clue behind.
All right, all right. Catching up on chat. People are chatting with each other. Suzanne
Which is good.
apologizes that she can't drive out here to help you because.
Susanna, do not get in the car and drive down to drive me around. That is crazy. You live a province and a half away. Don't do that.
Oh God, sorry, my eyes are watering for some reason.
One day we will have a vaccine, and I will get the vaccine because I have no problems with them. And then I will be able to travel freely at that point because most of us will get vaccines, which will be a big
Yeah.
deal. And I will make plans and we'll start, and fiber festivals will start back up. So like, it will happen. We just need to be patient. And I need to blow my nose.
All right. Getting all of my stuff over here. Because at the end of my day of meetings, my hand was like, no, you're done knitting for the day. I was not able to start Clue 4 until Friday night because I cleaned all day on Friday. So I did not start Clue 4 until Friday, and it is now
Gotcha.
Sunday.
Yeah.
And I am oops, that's the wrong side. I am one set of mushrooms short from being done. So I'm going to finish
Oh,
my mushrooms tonight.
Oh, oh, so
But look
good.
at these cute little mushrooms. They're so adorable.
My hope is to finish the first because I got to do. There's more space between my mushrooms than yours because of sizes and increasing. So I'm hoping to get through at least half of the bottom sleeve today. Like that's what I'm gonna spend the rest of the day doing is chart knitting. So we'll see how that goes. Ugh,
I
so
don't quite
good.
know how this is supposed to line up, but yeah.
So then I can watch 50 billion steaking videos to figure out how to do that properly.
Mushrooms and Space Invaders. I'm so happy with this sleeve. I love it.
I'm so stoked that it is yet another new thing for Clue 5. Then there's been no repeats yet, which has been amazing.
This is. I've been telling people at work about it already. I said it's probably going to be my ugly and heavy quotations Christmas sweater,
Mm-hmm.
in that it's not actually ugly, it's just like loud.
Which is really the best part of an ugly Christmas sweater is the loud, unique ones.
So I'm
Oh,
really
so
I'm really pumped about this. I've been informed the weather doesn't really start getting terribly wintry around here until the end of November.
it
So we
really
get
doesn't get terribly wintry around here till the end of November.
but we also have all these like big tall maple trees, and like I'm so excited for fall. It's going to be
Like a
like
proper fall.
it's going to be the proper postcard fall, and I'm so pumped. And
Yeah, we don't
so
get
I
that here.
probably can't wear this sweater until December
That's
cuz I'll just melt.
that's fine. We won't be finishing it up till what, end of October anyway?
Yeah, so it should be fun.
Yeah, should be
No
fine.
mushrooms,
Yeah,
no
we
mushrooms.
get a super short winter and then we get this dead period where there is no snow but no fall and it's not cold.
Yeah, it's just like
Weird.
unwinter. It's I don't like it.
I yeah, it's not my favorite, super favorite. I love fall. I love winter more, but I love fall. But yeah, it's a weird time. That's fine. It is what it is.
Catching
We
up
can't
on
change
chat.
it.
Elsa agrees. I will have the vaccine as soon as it's available, and I always get my yearly flu shot. Yes, also a good
Oh
thing.
yes, always, 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 always.
And she says the sweaters look so good. I kind of want one too, but those things don't mean a thing for me. That's fair. There are.
Yeah, yeah. Like if
I haven't
you're
played
not
all these
into
games either, but I know what they are.
if you're not into retro video games, this might not be the colorwork sweater for you. That's super legit. I feel like that's super okay. That's like
Yeah.
when I make Halloween themed things, people are like, oh, well, it's really pretty, but I wouldn't make it. I'm like, well, you're not as into Halloween as I am. So that makes super sense in my brain because what would you do with it?
Yeah. Yeah. Fair.
I will not make things with super delicate flower patterns in them because it's not my thing. Doesn't mean I don't find them pretty. It's just not my thing.
It's fair.
So, yeah.
More agreements about vaccines. Asa says,
Vaccines is a hot button topic.
yeah.
People have very strong feelings about it.
So far, everybody's agreeing. Yes, vaccine. Can't wait.
It'll
Uh,
be nice. I do agree with the Book Riot podcast that the start of return to normalcy is really going to be vaccine plus 3 months
yeah,
because
that sounds
we're
about
going to
right.
have to because it's got to get around and it won't be available to everybody right away. Like it will be staggered
Yeah.
because there's this thing called production. They're going to have to make it and they're only going to be able to make so many at a time. And whatever country comes up with it first, their country residents will get it before the rest of us. They'll give it to us, but their country will get it first before we get the formula and stuff. That's how it's going to work.
We have a steeking discussion. For
Oh, good.
steeking in pure wool, the Knitting Expat has a great video.
Oh, good.
I was just going to see if she can find a link for you.
Please, please, Asa, drop that in the Discord because I, I understand and I've heard people talk about it and I've seen it happen once, but I wasn't like super paying attention to it because I wasn't doing it at the time. So now I know I'm like, okay, I need to do a refresher. I need to look at it seriously and pay attention to what they're doing. I watched a couple of the videos on knitting sleeves 2 at a time. Oh yeah, totally ready for that. But if we're honest, I'm gonna rip back that body on the flat white that I finished I'm going to pick up the stitches where I need to have them picked up for me, and I'm going to have to do decreases. So I have the top part fits, by the way, fits Mom great. So fits good for her, good to go. She complained the whole time because it was wool, and I've already lost one of my cardigans to her. It looks better on her than me. So I said, happy birthday. I will never wear it again because now I know it looks better on you than me. So it's good. It's the summer nights one.
Mm.
Yeah, because it's just that yellow and green pops against her skin tone so bloody well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, and it's all acrylic and cotton, so she can wear that. So there you go. Done.
Well, that's what you get for making things out of acrylic and cotton.
Yeah, that's true. And she's put in a request for other ones because apparently my arms are too long. She's home. The lights are on. So that's fine. But I gotta pull back that flat white, and I'm gonna have to do the math for the decreases because I've got the bust set at a 50 inch, so I've got that -2 or -2 inches ease, but I'm still not small enough in the body. Still way too big in the body. So I'm gonna have to check out the finished chest measurements and compare them against my underbust measurements, and then figure out how many stitches I have to decrease and do shaping in the sweater to get the stitches small enough. It's fine. I will make copious notes because then I can just pick up any other sweater after this and I know exactly what to do. Same with the cardigans. Like now that I've made the one, I know what it is I need to do to make it fit perfect. Done.
Right.
So I'm super cool. I'm talking to the internet. What do you want?
I'm wet.
Well, it rained. That's why you're wet. I mean, you could. A, you're not going to melt.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
I'm gonna hang against something.
You're not going to melt. We are actually made of a lot of water. If it really bugs you, change clothes. And I warned you, there was a chance of rain. Though really in this province, what does that mean? It means it could sun all day, like, you know.
Yeah, it could mean you get 30% of a rain, you know?
Yes, yeah. You never know when it's going to happen. So, well, parents are home.
It just says steaking, what's that? Wow, steaking scares the bejesus out of me.
I am not even remotely concerned because I know if I do the prep work, and I mean, I'll even do a little video to show people how calm and collected I am. I'm just going to do the stitches in the middle that you're going to do. I'll back it up. I'll run it through a sewing machine on a gentle.
Where do I put this?
And a niece. I'm on the internet.
Yeah.
I need a thing like the grocery girls when they yell at Georgia because they're podcasting. That belongs in my bedroom. Please and thank you.
Oh.
It's a full house in here. I'm gonna, once I've got the steek stitches, before I even cut the sweater, I'm going to run it through the sewing machine, and I'm going to do the nice wide zigzag stitch that you do on clothing and fabric with a lot of give. The super stretchy rayon fabrics. And I'm going to do that, and then I'm just going to cut because I know it's good. I know it's good because there's no way that it's this popular of a knitting technique and this well known of a knitting technique if it didn't work. I'm not picking an obscure thing. I'm doing something that is quite commonly done, and I'll do it quite freely with great abandon because it's fine.
Still
It's a
something
project.
about cutting into knitting that's like,
I'll take a little video and I will laugh gleefully. If I'm back here, I will get my sister to cackle while I cut. She would totally help me out by cackling. She owes me. I helped her bathe her 90-pound dog.
oof.
Both of them.
Catching up on, like, wow, we've been talking for a while. Catching up on chat. Asa, I have never been into video games or board games. That's fair.
That's fair.
I am very into both. We are both very into both.
Yeah, you don't have to be.
Susanna agrees. I will get the vaccine and the flu one too. And
Oh,
Susanna's
yeah.
making lunch as well. It's good.
Hey,
Eating is
lunchtime.
important.
Yes,
We forget that sometimes.
we both do. We're excellent adults.
Also says, steaking with the woolly wool is no problem. The yarn will stick to itself. I have heard
That's
this.
what I'm thinking.
It's very
Yeah.
sticky, so it should be okay.
I'm excited.
Naughty Thistle, what is this Discord you speak of?
Ooh.
For Patreon members, we have a Discord. So it should be set up that if you sign up to become a patron at even the $1 a month tier, you
Mhm.
should be automatically sent an invite link to our Discord. And if you do that and it does not work that way, then you can absolutely DM us on Patreon and I will sort that out.
Diana did all that. Jocelyn just said, "Oh yeah, cool. No, yeah, sure. Let's do a Discord. I'll help out with the chat." Then I went, "Diana sets it up."
Yeah. So in theory, it should be all set up, but for this goes for anybody in there. If there are technical problems, you can DM us, and Jocelyn will read it, and then tell me to go read it, and then I will fix the problem.
If it's something I can't fix on my end very quickly, I'll be like, "I have let Diana know." She will get to you as soon as she can. Sometimes I fix them on my own. It's fine. It's an easy enough fix. Sometimes I go, "Nope, I don't even know where to start. I'm just going to ask for help." It is what it is. But yeah, we do all sorts of stuff in the Discord chat these days. We got what? Recipes, patterns, sewing,
Books,
needlecraft books, the general
stories about
chat,
hand sanitizer in my hair.
stories about hand sanitizer, all sorts of stuff. Oh, those cinnamon buns from the other day. Hello.
Oh
Whew.
yeah, there was like banana bread too. Like
I
I'm
know.
coming to visit.
Oh, yep. I'm like, cool. When do you want me? I'll get on a plane. It's fine. I can wear a mask. Good. It's not have to cook cinnamon buns. Done.
Oh, the link that Asa promised is up on Discord. You probably got a ding about that.
Oh, yeah, it is possible. My phone's on silent, so.
Lina, you need to yell, "Mom, I'm podcasting!"
I'm not entirely sure if that would encourage or discourage. It could potentially encourage more rowdy behavior, so that might be unwise. I have a family entirely built on people who will push the red button. You gotta be careful.
Ooh, so you're all the rogues that'll run in and push the button.
Every
Ooh,
single
the whole family.
family. Where it's just varying levels of loudness when we do it is really the only difference.
I'm pushing the button.
People just believe me. Dad's very gregarious. He's very extroverted. He's very out there. It's great. It's fun. If you're quiet and you're paying attention, my mom tells the dirtiest jokes, and no one's ever prepared because she's the quiet one. It's great. This is the same woman who the day before she came down. We talked for an hour and a half. We literally see each other like 24 hours later.
I can't talk to my mom. Well, I can talk to my mom for that long, but only like once a month.
Every other day.
I should probably call my mom more. That feels like a very adult thing to say.
It is a very adult thing to say.
I should talk to my mom more. Note to self.
Note to self.
Susanna. Actually, I might be Susanna might actually be burning her lunch rather than making it.
Well, Susanna, pay attention to lunch. Jeez. Crazy. But I'm out of knitting projects, and I didn't spin this week, and I didn't sew this week.
I keep looking at my sewing. I have it all here now. Not that you.
What?
It's. Okay, you can see
Glad
this
you're
basket.
looking at it.
There's this basket here on the side, as I spit everywhere, but stacked below it where you can't see and above where you can't see is all the sewing. This basket is not sewing, but everything else that you can't see is the sewing. And so I see it all the time, and I'm like, oh, I should really sew the rest of those face masks.
You should. It's important.
It is. I should do that.
You should. So tune in next week when Diana's ignored all the stuff above and below her basket again.
Yeah, we know how this goes.
We know how this goes. I have to make the decision, do I take out drop spinning with me? I'm already taking way more projects than I could possibly finish in visiting for a month on top of all of the Jocelyn helped me do this list, which involves a lot of staining and painting.
I think you should take the drop spinning because it doesn't take up that much space.
I'm already taking an extra plastic tote so that I can cart this computer out there so that I can do all the video editing and other things I want to do. And I may be taking that boot camp course you and I were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's going. Like, let's be honest. We all know I'm going to put it in a suitcase. It's going out there with me. It's going out there with me. And I might even bring more fiber home. I don't even know how I work anymore. I scaled up the project to make the Winter on My Mind shawl last year when I went out because it was springtime. And that's great. Like, lace weight shawl, start practicing in the right weight of yarn before I try that really fancy Evening Star shawl. So, great idea, right? No problem. Didn't even start it. It's still sitting fully skeined, ready to go. I spent an hour this morning looking for a bag of yarn ends of big 3/4 to half, like 50 gram to 75 gram yarn, fingering weight variegated yarns from projects that I had ripped out and didn't want to finish or didn't like the Speckle and Pop from Stephen West a couple of years ago, like another projects where I didn't have the right colors, it wasn't the right combo, and it wasn't working. I'm like, I'm going to make myself another Find Your Fade, like the one behind me, because I love this shawl. I love the size of it. I love the violent color variations in it. And I'm like, I've got enough variegated. I'll make another one, right? Because it uses various sets. I pulled up the pattern. I found my digital scale. I put batteries in my digital scale. I cannot find the big bag of yarn. Of course I can.
Of course not.
Of course I can't. Okay, cool. This is my life.
Yes, I will inform Mr. Diana later that you say hi, Asa. He has run away.
He's run away.
He's making clunky sounds. I don't know. He came in to get something off the miniature assembly table, and then he ran away, and now I hear clunking sounds, and I'm concerned.
It's probably best to wait till that's done before you find out what that is.
Yeah.
Just in case it's a cleanup job.
I hear wooden clunking sounds, and I'm concerned.
Yep. Leave that alone till he's finished. It's just... That seems wise.
More catching up on chat. Asa, I miss those long talks to Mum.
It's something I know I won't have forever, so I'm going to enjoy them while I have them.
Yeah, definitely gotta do that. Rachel,
guilt.
I'm sufficiently guilty. I'll call my mom after this.
Super guilted. Asa's at home sitting relaxing in the evening. She's like, and my work is done.
we've received our daily dose of guilt.
We're good.
Rachel says, you are all better at adulting than me. I haven't eaten yet today, just coffee. I mean, coffee's important. I did not plan well enough, and I wasn't able to go get coffee because I'm out of coffee beans. And Starbucks is literally like, I can see it out my window, but I didn't have time to go get any before we started.
Your time management is somewhat sketchy on weekends.
Well, because it's a weekend.
You drives me nuts.
It's a weekend.
It's fine. I had leftover quinoa and sweet potato in the fridge. So I fried up some tofu and had that with some red cabbage for breakfast this morning.
That doesn't sound like breakfast, but it does sound very good.
It was a very big breakfast. Breakfast is whatever you eat when you get up in the morning. Pizza, toast, French toast, whatever you choose. And I just had that in the fridge, and I knew groceries were coming home, so I had to get rid of some leftovers. So I made leftovers for breakfast. Added some sriracha sauce on the top, and away we go. Tasty.
Susanna successfully did not burn her lunch, just charred it a bit.
Oh, hey, flavoring.
Okay. Yeah, charring is a cooking technique.
It's flavoring.
Asa also says, when you go to your parents, you should do a podcast with your mom.
I don't know. I'll ask. I mean, she might show up at random, like if I do random vlogs and stuff, because some of the stuff we're going to do is Halloween related, and I do love filming Halloween related things, so that's possible. But I don't know. I'll ask.
Was I not going to sew a skirt? Yes, I've been going to sew a skirt for like 2.5 years.
Yep. We're just about at 3 years on that skirt now. She's got the fabric and everything.
I have everything I need. The fabric's even washed. Moving on. Yeah, you will buy a lot of yarn out there as well. Yes, when you're visiting.
Oh yeah,
I'm like a solid 5 minutes behind on chat. Rachel says, definitely bring the drop spindle. It takes up no room at all.
That's what they say now. That's all right. I will talk about wool gathering. What we got going on is the same sort of two things we talk about all the time. The first one is our Patreon. Our members, if you are able to financially support us, we are gratefully appreciative of it. And to show our appreciation, we offer you things in return. We do a weekly post. Diane and I trade off. So mine usually shows up on Wednesdays, not Tuesdays. It's called Experimental Tuesdays, and where we've tried something new and we share the results of our experiment with you guys. Links are almost always to videos, sometimes to blog posts. It just depends on where we've randomly found the recipe on the internet from. The other great thing about the Patreon is the Discord chat, which you can access at any level of membership. If you're $5 or more a month, you also get our faces on a Google Meet once a month, where you get to chat at us in real time with video and everything.
Kind of like this.
Kind of like this. So that's sort of what we got going now. And we've got some other stuff we want to sort of implement as the channel and everything continues to grow. So there's always stuff up and coming. Right now, Patreon members are all, well, I think all of us are in on the CAL that's going on till the end of September, where we're knitting something old, an old favorite, an old library Ravelry pattern, old yarn, just something that we've had in our queue for way longer than we care to admit to in public. And we're making that, and we've been doing so for the last 3 months. So it does wrap up at the end of literally next month, which starts on Tuesday. And in typical Jocelyn's fashion, she has to make major alterations. I'm making the flat white. Diana is making the Comfort Fate Cardi. These are among our oldest projects that we've been waiting to work on.
It's
The other thing
I
for
had yarn for.
it's the same with me with the
It's
flat
not the
white.
oldest thing, but it's the oldest thing I had yarn for.
That's fair. And if I recall correctly, September the 19th is the next Google Meet chat? Question mark?
September 19th, yes, because I wrote it down.
Oh, man, look at that. That won't happen again. I'll mess it up. If you can support us, hitting the like button, chatting with us on the lives like this, leaving comments on videos, following us on Instagram. We will interact with you at whatever level you guys are comfortable with. We super just love chatting with people. It's great. Our love of geeky things has convinced other people to join us in the 8-Bit Cal. I have been freely taking the blame for that. Phil, you can hide behind my skirts. No problem, guys. We don't mind enabling at all. It's always a great delight and joy. So that's just our wool gathering. Bits and pieces. Bobs and whatchamacallits. Things and hoojamas. Yeah, because like the Discord's doing we're doing what's the word I'm looking for? Advent calendar exchange.
Oh yeah.
So everybody who wants to, who's a member on the Discord chat and a member of the Patreon, is signing up till the end of this month. And then in the first couple of weeks into September, I'll assign everybody a person, and then they'll make little 10 to 15 gram minis out of scrap yarns, leftovers, projects with like the little stories and stuff, like where they come from. And we're going to mail them to each other and exchange advent calendars for the year. Diana and I are exchanging with each other.
As well as somebody else.
I will, if we're an odd number, I'll drag you in, but yeah, I'm absolutely going to do a second one. Absolutely. It gave me a reason to buy a digital scale.
I need batteries for my scale. Oh, the internet says hi.
Which I suppose brings us to books.
Yes.
Are you ready? I don't think you're prepared.
All right. I'm ready. I'm so ready.
Perhaps elbows on table. I only read one book this week.
Okay, so I'm going to look for the zombies.
When I told you I had a very unfocused week, I meant I had a very unfocused week.
You know,
but
2
it's okay.
hats, a bunch of blanket squares, very unfocused week.
I didn't finish my sleeve. What I had to get done. I did not do the... there's things I was supposed to be doing that I just completely ignored.
You're very good at procrastinating.
I am so good at procrastinating. It is getting kind of ridiculous. No, I was catching up on audio podcasts and YouTube channels that we watch and other things, and I've been rewatching Campaign 2 for Critical Role.
Episode 18, I'm on, about halfway through.
It's been keeping me company. I've been listening to it while I've been chart knitting, so it's like that's my treat to myself when I chart knit. So that's good. But
I'm guesstimating I have about 210 hours left of Critical Role.
Roughly, yeah. So
Better than the 300 that I estimated a while back.
I've been reading so many books the last few months. I feel like a week here or there isn't going to be like that. I'm
No.
already at 60 books for the year, and that was my goal for the year. So it's like
do whatever.
My last quarter's fine, but that's okay because the book I listened to this week was The Art of War by Sun Tzu.
The Art. All right, that's like a really classy thing to have read. I think classy,
Yep.
classic.
Yep.
All right.
Just 'cause I hadn't read it. It's on one of my. I have a book. I might try to roll off screen to grab it. It's just a notebook, but I put in it those like books you should read, like what are they considered the top 25 classic science fiction, like top 1,000 and I like to see how many of them I've already read, and then it's about the only place where I'm a completionist because if I haven't, it bugs me.
I made a list of books. Lists of books just reminded me. Way back in grade 12, we did this project that was to make like a scrapbook of life goals or something.
Yeah, that sounds about legit for a grade 12 project.
Yeah, but in it, I definitely had a goal about books, and there's a printed list of books, and I should really check on that and see how many books I've read since, graduation was 10 years ago. I should
Give or
see how I'm
take?
doing 10 years down the road.
You're like, hey, I wonder how that went.
Probably read very few of them. I think I had very ambitious reading goals and then later realized that I actually don't enjoy reading many of those kinds of books.
Okay, you might be okay to let those go.
I've also learned to let things go when it comes to books.
I keep things organized and separated. The red one's YouTube. This one's us. The golden one is us. So thoughts and ideas for the channel. And this one is books.
Oh, I have a similar thing. Ugh.
You have a similar stack of them?
I have a similar stack. The sort of rose gold one is currently podcast. It used to be my daily bullet journal, but at the end of the year, it just switched over to being exclusively podcast notes. But I have like 2 pages left, so that's going to have to move somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
The red one is work notes. This is my work notebook. And the green one is my 2020 daily bullet journal.
Yeah.
And it's a great place to put stickers.
Yeah.
So many stickers.
Yeah. Different books for different things so you can keep
it's a sticker collection, like I'm 3.
That's fine.
Wait, I still need that one. Oh, yeah, and this one has Knit City on it.
That's because we went to Knit City and you got the sticker. Because you're 3. I appreciate it.
Stickers are great.
Hey, technically the knitting has 3 separate books. That's just for the knitting crafting. 4 if we count the crochet stuff because I keep that in a separate book too. Because I keep our professional business stuff in one. I keep our fun idea ones in a separate one. I keep my knitting ideas in a third one, and I keep my crochet notes in a 4th one. I'm just looking over there going, I have 4 different colors. And I know they're all crafting related. Cool. Okay. I'm just going to drink my coffee now.
People are talking about what they're having for food.
Lunch?
Susanna had chicken breast with spices and mixed vegetables. And also for dinner had chicken breast and potatoes. Which all of this sounds very good. We have a second pizza from last night. Because I made enough dough for 2 pizzas. So we just made 2 pizzas and we have a second pizza for tonight.
Absolutely.
I'm excited.
I have no idea what I'm having for dinner. I will find out later.
Susanna got the battery for her scale. I keep forgetting to check what kind of battery it is and then write down what kind of battery it is so that when I go to the grocery store where they also sell batteries, I can just get a freaking battery. And I've been forgetting for months.
Don't you have a magical cupboard like I do here at the house?
Don't have that kind of battery. It's one of the circular cell batteries. Like we've got all kinds of AA's, AAA's, like all of the cylinder-shaped ones. We've got all of those. Don't have any of the cell-shaped ones.
Digital scale. No, there's a cabinet that sits at the bottom of the stairs. That's where I store. We've got light bulbs, batteries, all types, tape, garbage bags. It just stores random household goods. Hey, we heard of Mr. Diana. Oh, hello.
No, they're not big enough. Good try. I've been attacked with a cardboard blister pack of batteries.
Oh, your day's complete.
Yeah, there's the excitement for my day.
Cool. So I did start a new
I'm sorry,
title.
I looked at because we have about a 10-second lag, so I just
Yeah?
looked down at the exact moment where I was getting hit in the face with a pack of batteries.
I'm not even looking at the screen. I heard it. I didn't see it. I just heard it. Okay. So I did start last night a new book that isn't The Art of War by Sun Tzu. It's a very classic book to read. I do understand. I started reading. I'm gonna save my spot here. And do that. I am reading Mixed Feelings, Poems and Stories by Evan. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to spell this last name. It's Jogia. He is a mixed race actor who wrote and collected poetry and short stories from other mixed race authors and actors and put it together in a collection. So these are all people who share something in common with me, and that's a mixed heritage. So there's combinations of all different types. So, like, I'm Métis, so like I have Caucasian as well as Indigenous First Nations. So that's very interesting because I don't normally see a lot of books written about being of a mixed race and gender. Not right. Yeah. Race, not gender. Don't know why gender was put in there. So I started reading that, but I'm literally not even done the intro. So like started reading that. So I'm reading that one, which would also fit your BIPOC author requirements. Yeah.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna raid your Goodreads list for the year.
sure, good idea. There's a lot. Just don't get in the have a read pile or to read pile. They're in the hundreds.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna go for this year.
I think my read pile is over 1,000 at this point. And that's not all my books. That's just since I've been on Goodreads.
I accidentally deleted my Goodreads account a few years back.
Tisk tisk. Tisk tisk.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Everything's just since then.
Well, I got to pick up the Sword and Laser pick for the month. I'm interested in that one.
What's that one?
Sword and Laser is a fantasy science fiction book club. It's been going for many, many years. And every month they read a sword or a laser pick. And this month is a laser pick that I'm quite interested in.
Interesting. Might have to check that out.
I think it's the Door of... No, I'm going to look because it's going to bug me.
Also says, I have read a lot of books this year as well, but most of them are romance. And I miss reading heavier books, but I don't have the concentration for them.
This year's, it's a very serious consideration because it takes a lot to read the heavier books.
I am 100% in the same boat because, the news is heavy enough. I don't need to read anything else heavy, thank you. I'll take my fluffy sci-changeling romance.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with fluffy books. I have books on the list that I'm apparently still reading that I know I'm done. Cool. I'll have to fix that. I'm apparently not updated.
I love audiobooks. I can remember more with listening. If I read myself, I can't remember. That's interesting.
Audiobooks are great. They're also great for some of the ones where like they're full on. Like I always put a caveat when I recommend Ender's Game because the author's not a good human. Yes. Or was not a good human, but the story is really good.
Also agree.
And there is a full cast retelling, like a full cast reading of the book, and like I've put it on my list on Audible to listen to because the full cast ones are always amazing. And when you get a narrator you like, you just kind of follow them around.
Yeah. Cough Tyndale, cough Stephen Fry.
Yeah, those ones. And then there's like Team of Rivals, which is technically about American histories. It's about President Lincoln. But they had different voices for each of the different people, and it was a really interesting way to tell the story. So like I was in it, and I recommend it to people who are kind of into history, but they don't want to spend hours talking the minutia of one Nicene Council with me. Fair. I can go hardcore mode very easily in history, and I try not to, but it's a very interesting read because Lincoln made up his cabinet out of the people who ran against him.
That's
And
a way
it
to
was
do
a
it.
functioning cabinet. So you see the progression in their letters of when they first meet, so when they first start to compete against each other in the political world, to when he becomes president, and how their thoughts and patterns change over time, and how they interacted with each other and their wives and their background stories and stuff. So because it was told in letter format, so the narrators would just read the letters, and they did it in chronological order, and they explained the placement for each of the letters. So the super interesting, loved listening to it, picked up the book and went, I would have sprained my ankle tripping over something while trying to hold this book. It's so heavy.
Oof. What was the title of that one? Asa wants to know.
That's Team of Rivals.
Team of Rivals is the one
Team
about
of Rivals.
presidents.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, you need a fantasy that's just big and wide ranging and a good representation of not white characters. If that's your goal, like Diana's, is called The Priory of the Orange Tree. Don't ask me I can't do authors' names. I do author names as well as I do people's names. Not. But Priory of the Orange
down, but
is, but I mean, I recommend it on Audible rather than reading it because the paperback, the hardcover was this thick.
Oh gosh.
Was over 2 inches thick. I'm
See,
this is not a book. It's a paperweight.
I love to read in high school because I didn't
Just
really watch TV. I didn't have any other hobbies. I read books. I would pick books based on how thick they were because it might take me a whole week to finish it then.
And when you put your bag down on the table, it made a very satisfying thunk sound, and you knew you were safe from anybody at night because you also carried a deadly weapon. Now I look at it and I go, that would just make my hand hurt. No, the next book for the Sword and Lasers is The 10,000 Doors of January. But I don't know the author, so I'll you should stalk me on Goodreads.
10,000 Doors of January?
In January.
No,
of January.
Okay.
So I liked the little synopsis, so I was like, yeah, I'm reading you. Done.
Nice.
And then I spent the whole week watching stuff on the internet instead.
Fair.
I was having fun. It also meant I looked like a normal human being because I only actually just read one book in a week instead of 50 million.
Back to the dinner conversation for a second. Rachel says, I will be serving people delicious food for dinner and not eating my own because I just was asked to pick up a shift tonight. So, my usual.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
I've lived that life.
Yep. We all have. Well, most of us have. I probably shouldn't make assumptions like that.
Chris is not. He never worked in a restaurant. He only did retail.
Oh,
and it shows in the kitchen sometimes.
Pampered.
It annoys me.
Pampered boy.
This is an odd little thing that I'll do, and I'll be like, "You never worked in a kitchen, did you?" He did not. I know.
Definitely noticed a change in kitchen behavior habits when Mr. B worked as the assistant manager of the restaurant at the zoo, because it was attached to a kitchen, so he learned a lot better habits because of it. So I'm super grateful for that. I never worked in a kitchen, but I worked retail, so
I washed dishes in a kitchen. I also served and still wash dishes in a kitchen.
I was a waitress, but I didn't work in the kitchen.
They were jobs.
True.
I learned a lot.
You do. What'd you read this week?
This week I read a little bit more of the third book in the Psy-Changeling series, Caressed by Ice.
Caressed.
Yeah. I don't know. The ice one.
Look, it's a funny hat now.
You're a chef.
Take me seriously.
I think if you're going to wear it like that, you need to attach little pom-poms on the sides to dangle.
Don't tempt me. Do not tempt me. There's enough yarn. I could do that.
New idea for a cowl.
Uh-oh. Ridiculous hat cowl?
Ridiculous
The more
hat
ridiculous,
cowl.
the better?
Just make the most ridiculous hat you can.
Have you
Don't spend a huge amount of time on it either because, you're not going to wear it a lot.
have you seen the Halloween-inspired hats I could make? I could make a hat that literally has bat wings coming off the side of it.
Oh my god. Okay, maybe we need a Halloween
A ridiculous hat cowl?
I think we need a ridiculous hat cowl at some
A
point.
ridiculous hat cowl? Okay. I'll add it to the idea list.
What else? Also says, I have Goodreads, but I don't use it. I've never gotten into it.
I don't like it as a format. I use it because it's the big business in town.
Yeah, it's not the most user-friendly, but it is like the thing.
Yeah.
So
It is
it
not.
works. It's not
not
beautiful, but it works.
Yeah. What there needs to be is there needs to be a better version, but nobody does a better version because there's something that it'll do. So
Yeah.
it sort of stifles creativity on that point. But I'm not putting the effort in, so I really can't complain.
Just the database of books. Like nobody wants to take that part on.
Can you blame them? That'd be
Maintaining that
massive.
database? Heck no. Heck
Mm.
no. Also says, I have a book about the Romans on my reading list now.
Yeah. Everybody should read about the Romans. They're fascinating people.
I read the Shakespeare play. Does that count?
No.
The Shakespeare play I can't even think of the title of?
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Okay. The other thing I was reading this week is I was reading more of The Sky Is Not the Limit by Neil deGrasse Tyson, kind of his memoir life story. My signed copy of it. Because it was really hot earlier in the week, and so me and Mr. Diana set up the fold-out couch in the living room because it's next to the air conditioner, and we slept next to the air conditioner, and it was nice.
Mm-hmm.
But it ended up feeling sort of like a sleepover because we stayed up late watching YouTube and just kind of sitting there reading books together. It was like a sleepover.
You were that stupid, adorable couple, weren't you?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah. Okay.
I had a sleepover.
Somebody has to make the sound.
Also says, I use a spreadsheet for my books, just the author title and some info.
Which, if you read romance as much as romance readers do, you have to, because they occasionally re-release those books under new titles or with new covers.
Oof.
And they release a lot.
I find sometimes with stuff you can start re-consuming the same media and not realize until you're a quarter of the way and you're like, wait. I've done this before. How did I not figure that out sooner?
Been here. And not in the I'm reading yet another bodice ripper, been here kind of way.
Not like this exact one.
I
assume relating to the Romans book, it is SPQR by Mary Beard.
Yes. If you haven't read SPQR by Mary Beard, you absolutely should. Not only a great book about Roman life and history written by a female historian. She is our skin color, but she's female. It's a start.
So how is the history area field? How's the history field for gender division as compared to Tech's 33% female being really good? Sadly. That's my reference point.
Good reference point, because that's where you come from. You find a lot more females in the classroom in the histories, but you find that there are not that many actively working in the field. So something sort of happens around master's, PhD level, where it goes from, if you're an undergraduate student and you want to meet girls, history classes are actually one of the ways to do it, to master level PhDs, where the boys absolutely very distinctly outnumber the girls.
Probably because those typically happen around the age where people want to have babies.
It's usually in that late 20s, the early 30s when a lot of people settle down and get married, or they're doing the undergraduate, but their interests take them somewhere else. So you don't find a ton of them. So it's like in the 4 years I did university, I had 2 female professors who had degrees in history that weren't history adjacent. The rest were male. And one of the ones that I did had a Pope Innocent III figurine. Action figure. Sorry. It literally says action figure on the box. But I also took an entire course on the history of Christmas. And that professor actually got his PhD in the history of Christmas. The textbook was the book he wrote about the history of Christmas. It was we did Christmas songs for September through December. I was done with Christmas at the end of that Christmas year.
See, there are some university courses that, like, I don't really want to go back to university full-time or even, like, part-time, but, like, just this one course. I would like to do one course not even do, just, like, listen to the lectures.
Yeah.
For one course this semester.
I always sort of thought if I finished up through PhD that I want to be that kind of professor, where it's like that one course was so interesting that everybody just took it just cause. Whenever it was offered, it was always full up. And I do mean full up. I signed up for it within the first 3 hours of when courses went live that day, and I was one of the last ones to get a spot. Everybody else was standing room and waiting.
Wow.
For a history class. It's an easy written course, don't get me wrong. It's an easy W if you need it. It's one of them good ones. But
for me, that course was medicinal herbs and something or other. It's the course where you talk about drugs.
Yeah, like wouldn't that just be interesting to learn, just to know?
It really was, honestly.
Yeah.
That's where I learned little tidbits about ricin and foxglove and
cool.
And of course, the class doubled in size the day we talked about marijuana.
You know,
magically.
That's practical knowledge that I, know you use every day.
I actually don't really remember anything we talked about in that class. I just remember sitting down and being like, there's like twice as many people here as there usually are.
But my hair and this hat would have gone really well in that class.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, goodness.
Naughty Thistle says, I've watched entire movies before I realize I've seen them before.
Oh, I've done that.
I don't... If I ever do that, it's because I've only seen part of the movie before. Like, Soylent Green. I have seen the end of Soylent Green probably half a dozen times.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the first 3/4 of the movie are.
That's okay. I've only ever seen the second half of Die Hard.
I don't think I've ever seen Die Hard.
I've never managed to catch the first half, only the second.
People I don't understand the argument that Die Hard is or isn't a Christmas movie, so I think maybe I need to watch it at Christmas this year and find out.
I think it's because it happens around Christmas. Like, there's a Christmas day listed as one of the days in the movie. I don't know. Again, I only ever catch the second half, so I'm not sure. I don't know. Hey, did you catch the song I posted in the Discord earlier today?
I did not. Maybe?
It's called Aging Grace. Aging Grace. It's by Heather Bishop. You can find it on YouTube.
Oh, okay. I think I saw there was a link, but I did not listen to it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. There's a reason why it was followed by many smiley, laughy faces.
All right. I'll have to listen to it after.
Delightful.
Also wants to know, history of Christmas. Was it like the traditions or kind of what do you talk about in the history of Christmas?
It was everything from the study of Christmas, from where it stood as a pagan holiday and ritual, in through the Christianization of it, and how the process took over time. So you took a look at each of the individual indicators for the holiday itself and where their root sort of preferences lie. So, like, why is it an evergreen tree? Why do we have, the color red? Where does the Santa Claus story come from? And the divergence in those myths and those practices throughout the world as it moves into a Christian holiday.
Neat.
Yeah.
Rachel says, my most interesting class was a comparison of Paradise Lost and the Bible.
Oh,
We also had a children's literature class that was brilliant.
that would be so cool.
See, this is really making me... This and like the cool fall weather and the fact that I can literally see a university out my window is really... it's making me really nostalgic and like want to go back.
There's some factors. And then you remember exams and you go, nope.
Yeah, then I remember the exams and the papers and the tests and the labs, and I'm like, never mind.
Nope, I'm not. No, I don't think I want to sign on for that. For me, I do it and I remember it. The exams aren't so bad, and I didn't really have any labs or anything. And then I remember that I was in my early mid 20s, going to school with a lot of 18 and 19-year-olds. And I'm like, the age gap was hard then. It would not be easier now.
We had, in comp sci, we had a guy that was in his late 30s, early 40s, and he was doing a career change, and he was like one of the coolest people in there. So
Yeah.
I feel like that was a really great example for me if I ever wanted to go back and be like, just be that guy.
Yeah. So I said, I didn't, because I already had all the stories. So everybody came in with the stories. They would tell the stories. I'm like, I remember when I did that. When? Like half a decade ago.
I had somebody in the elevator the other day ask me about going back to school next month, and I'm like, I graduated like 6 years ago. I'm done with school, thanks. But apparently I still look like a student, so...
Cool. I mean, hey, bonus.
I guess I was doing the jeans and hoodie thing that day, so...
Yes. Yeah, you're also not that old.
Guess I still look like a student. I'm okay with that.
Right now, I look like a student.
It's fair.
And I'll be, 40 in 3 years? This hat! I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try other slouchy hats. Probably the sockhead, hey, you think?
Yeah, my blue one is the sockhead.
Just roundy for ages.
Yeah, pick an interesting yarn. Roundy.
Yeah. Hey, I have that Halloween yarn. Halloween sockhead. That one I might even wear. Done! Decision made. That's it. I think we're good. Are you caught up on chat?
Also just said, I usually talk about taking classes every autumn, and a friend always says, should we talk spring and exams? I am always a wreck when exams come. Nobody likes exams. Exams are no fun.
Mine were, because almost outside the one math course that you have to take to graduate. Because you need at least one M credit and one W credit written in a math. I took exactly one math class. I took the math class you take to prove you can do math. That doesn't get you anywhere else. You can take that math class, but it literally will not get you into any of the other math classes.
No, it's the class you take for the M requirement.
Yes, when you can't get into art, the math of art.
I did the equivalent, but for W, because, all my classes were math classes, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I took the English for engineers.
Yep. I took the math for people who really should not be taking math. And the rest of my courses were written. So like I did almost all of my exams were literally handwritten essay papers, or they were hand and essay research papers. So like I would spend half a semester writing my end of term exam because it would be a full-on research paper. So
See,
I was handing it.
To me.
I loved it. I was handing in things 12, 15, 20 pages long with full-on cited footnotes and stuff.
Oh, sounds terrible.
If you sat down and wrote the booklets, I could write 4 booklets in a 3-hour exam period. Write out your outline, this is where you were going, and you just went. Right for hours.
Oh, I always dreaded exam questions. I hate those. Or like the
you got the multiple choice. You got the multiple choice ones early on, but by like 3rd year for your written courses, essays all the way. Do you know this? It's stopped being do you know this factoid. It's can you argue this point? Cool. Oh, great. Loved it.
Well, my coffee tea is done, and there's still a mountain of foam in the bottom.
Crazy
It
person.
really foamed up this time. I don't know
It-
why.
Okay, so we need photos on Instagram when the coffee machine arrives.
Yes, September 8th is the estimated delivery date, so it'll be a couple weeks still.
That's fine. When it gets in, and we need a proper taste testing, which
Oh,
means
yes.
you have to sample correctly to do a compare contrast, because
Right,
this
right.
needs to be scientific, like
Mhm.
above board here. We have standards. They might be low, but they are ours, and we're going to stick to them. Thank you very much. And a reminder that between your coffee maker, the very, very good farmer's market, and that tea shop that does the whiskey, when I come out to visit you, I may never leave. Warn your husband.
The tea shop that does the whiskey is closed.
Oh
They seem to be
no,
perma-closed, and I'm so sad.
that's sad.
Sad.
We'll find other places.
Yeah, there's lots of coffee places around. I mean, there's a university right there. There's a lot of coffee and bubble tea. Bubble tea is apparently the big thing here. Rather than going for coffee, you go for bubble tea, so says a University of Waterloo student.
Guess what? Just a random anonymous University of Waterloo student when he's
Well,
taking
no,
interviews on the side of the street.
she
Where
was
do
a-
you do?
She was a co-op at Bold for a while. Like, I sat next to her for 4 months. We talked about
Okay.
stuff. And she's from Waterloo, so I connected with her a while back. And we talked about bubble tea for like a
God.
solid half hour.
Bubble tea is amazing.
It is. Gotta say. There's a lot
Bubble
of it
tea.
around.
Bubble tea is really good. All right. Oh, okay. That's fine. And if we're all caught up, I can then do our outro. She looks down.
Couple more last minute messages. Susanna, I am still here watching and knitting. Excellent.
Woohoo!
It's getting warm in here, so I think I have to shut the window and turn on the air after this. I'm
wanna go
melting a little bit. Sherry says, "Ugh, my English degree was so much reading and writing."
Oh yeah,
Yes, that is an English degree.
that is an English degree. That's pretty much a history degree too. It's just reading and writing
The reading sounds fine. It's the writing. I hate the writing part.
all the time.
I hate writing about things that I don't care about.
I was one of those people you would find up like on the third stack, writing with my headphones in, and I would just be all day. And all that ever changed was I would get up and change my stack of 5 books to a new stack of 5 books. And every time I left the third floor of the Defoe Library, or the second floor of the Defoe Library, was to go get more beverages, because like my lunches were in my bag. So I would stop and sit and lean in the chair and like eat my sandwich like some weird little creeper child with my headphones plugged in my men's 4XL University of Manitoba hoodie.
As you do when you're in university. You get the
As
giant
you do.
hoodie.
Giant hoodie. And I would do that for days on end. And if I needed a break, I would phone up Miss Emma, who lived on campus, and I'd be like, okay, I'm out of food and I need to get up from here. So I'm gonna pack everything up. Let's meet in your cafeteria. Actually, I just walked to her cafeteria. Get new food and chat history with a human rather than a computer screen. Or book.
Lina says, "Guess I'm knitting 2 more Simple Hugs mother-in-law request."
Oh, I'm enjoying the Simple Hug a lot. I love that I'm doing this one in garter. I will absolutely be making a second one. I just don't know if I'm going to make this one with long sleeve or short sleeves, but the second one I'm going to buy yarn for, so that one for sure will be long sleeve. So I'll make that one in a nice, like a superwash wool. So like that can be just right next, and I'll make that in a stockinette, so it's got some nice drape and some nice sleeves and stuff. I think that'll look really good.
People keep talking
yeah,
about it, and I'm like, I've got all this yarn here that I don't know what to do with, and I'm super into sweaters, and I don't actually have a sweater quantity, but that one's for using up, like, scraps, right?
It's exactly what it's for.
Because I have colors that go together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, because I cast on for size. Oh, I'll tell you my size. I cast on for size 3, but I technically need a size 1 or 2 in the back for semi-fitted, right? Because again, I don't want. I mean, you could do the size with all the inches of ease, and it would look fine because that would look good on your body frame.
I don't like
Would not
huge
look good
amount.
on
I don't feel like drowning in my.
That's
stuff.
fair. So what I'm going to do is when I do my front panels, like when we separate at the armholes, I'm going to do my front ones at the bigger size, So the size 4, which would be the size I would knit for myself. And then whatever's left over becomes my back, so that my back is smaller and fits me better. And the front goes farther forward around the girls.
Sorry, my phone
It's
just lit up to tell me that the power adapter for my DSLR camera has been shipped, so I should have it like probably Tuesday.
cool. Well,
So
we're not
next week
recording.
I'll look real good. You can see all my pores and stuff. I was testing it out last night, and like literally you could see the pores on my forehead. I'm like, oh, okay, different lens, different lens.
Why would you do that to yourself? Nobody needs to macro themselves.
Ooh, so I'm using a different lens.
Uh-huh.
Sherry says, my daughter makes bubble tea. I don't like chewing my drink. Typically, yes, but there's
That's
something
fair.
about bubble tea. I like the jelly in bubble tea.
So do I.
Because
But
then
then,
it tastes like something.
how many of those red bean paste balls can I eat in a day?
Oh my
4?
god. Red bean is so good.
So
I
good.
need more red bean in my life.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Susanna says, I have down 11 sets of the repeats, but I still have 10.5 repeats left to do, and each repeat has 4 increases. That's a lot.
Uh-huh. Holy schnickelfroodles.
Sherry says, I used a Karen cake for my simple hug. It worked well. Ooh. I have one of those. I can see it right down there. In fact, I think I have 2 of those. Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah,
Maybe
because don't you have
that's...
the two? Don't you have the two from your mother-in-law still?
I do, and they're very similar colorways. Not quite the
Mhm.
same, but very, very similar. Maybe
Close
I'll
enough,
do
it would
that.
work.
Ooh.
Because if you make it short sleeve, you're technically doing your sleeves at the same time you do your body. So your stripes match up. Yeah. Yeah. That you would just need a contrasting color for your ribbing and your collar, like your cuff rib, your hem, your cuff, and your little shawl color. Well, it's more
I'm
like
gonna
a
need
ribbed
help getting
collar.
that out though, because that's in the tub on the bottom of this stack that ends up here, and it's down on the floor. Okay, well, I might have started a 3rd sweater next week, because apparently I'm all about the sweaters now. I've done one sweater and I'm like, oh my god, sweaters are so easy and great. Now I want all the sweaters.
Cool, cool. I look forward to it. Miles of knitting. Do you even have 8mm size knitting needles?
That's a great question.
Because you're gonna need those.
I'm
Or
not
not.
sure.
Because if you're just doing the Karen cake, you might have to go down to a smaller size to get gauge. So like do your gauge swatch first on like a
Yeah.
6mm and see if you get gauge or if you've got to go up big enough.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Which case, I think we shall call it done.
All right. I think the rest of the things are just talking about sweaters back and forth.
Sweaters.
There's a big anniversary Karen cake, apparently.
Yes, there is. I know.
Oh,
I
and
know.
they're on
Trust me.
sale at Michael's until
I
September
know.
3rd.
I know. Trust me. I know.
Susanna, why do you tell us these dangerous things?
Okay, just go pick one up for me, Susanna. Drop it in the mail. Great, thanks. Do not do that. don't do that.
She's mailed you things before. You know it's going to show up now.
I'm being facetious.
Facetious?
Thank you.
Sherry says, I didn't need to change my gauge at all. Okay. We shall see.
I knit quite tight, but with the cotton, I knew I'd be okay on the 8mm because cotton stretches and grows. Yeah, so I knew I was okay on the 8mm, and I'm also holding a DK and worsted double, so like I'm getting a nice dense knit, which was what I wanted for this one. So I'm super happy. But I know gauge is important to Diana sometimes.
As long as it fits, I don't particularly care. As long as I like the fabric and it fits.
That's kind of the point, isn't it? My whole head fits in this hat.
All right. Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap this thing up.
Cool. I gotta go rob a bank. I actually see through this.
I mean, you got your face covering, so you know you're good.
Woo! Warm. God, your mask is easier. Okay. I will say until next week, I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Diana.
And no matter where your week takes you,
don't forget to knit.
Knit.
Not on time at all.
Not even close.
All right. Let's flip over to some inner workings and end this stream without
So-
showing off everything else that's on my computer. Okay, end stream, bye.